Hello my schoolers, you're welcome to my school channel, your favorite learning channel. Do not forget that in this particular segment, we are solving the JAMB CBT past questions for the subject Biology the year 2030. Do not go anywhere, stay with us because you know we'll be right back. You are welcome back to my school YouTube channel, your favorite learning and academic channel. So in this particular video segment, we are solving questions number 1 to 25. So join me as we begin with question number 1. The process in which complex substances are broken down into simpler ones is referred to as catabolism. Okay, a very important example is respiration. All right, so anabolism, you're talking about building simpler ones, okay, into complex ones. So yeah, this is an energy releasing process. This is energy consuming process. This gives rise to things like growth, reproduction, and what have you. Metabolism encompasses these two as its categories. Okay, so metabolism just talks about those activities or processes that go on in the body to sustain life. So we can basically say metabolism is about life sustaining processes. Okay, so tropism, I'm looking at plants, all right, that's growth or turning away to environmental stimulus. So let's go back to the question. The process in which complex substances are broken down into simpler ones is referred to as catabolism. Option B is the correct option. Question 2. The organ which is sensitive to light in Euglena is the what? So we are talking about Euglena viridis, okay? So that particular option we are looking for is the eye spot. The chloroplast is for making food. The gullet for taking in food. Then flagellum is talking about movement. So the correct option once again is option D for the eye spot. 3. The organelles present in cells that are actively respiring and photosynthesizing are what? Okay, when you talk about respiration, you're talking about mitochondria. When you talk about the photosynthesis, we're talking about chloroplast. That's the site for photosynthesis. When we come to lysosome, okay, we are talking about digestion, waste removal, and what have you. Ribosome, that's the site for protein synthesis. Okay, when you talk about Golgi apparatus, we talk about synthesis, distribution, and packaging of materials. When you talk about endoplasmic reticulum, of course, we are talking about the transport or movement or distribution of protein. Distribution of protein, to put it. Nucleus controls the activity of the cell. The centrals involved in cell division. So let's go back to the question given us. When we can see that the mitochondria, that is where respiration takes place, actively respiring, and site for photosynthesis is in option D for chloroplast. So mitochondria and chloroplast is the correct answer. They are the correct answers we are looking for. So option D is the correct option. Question number 4. Tenia solium can be found in where? Okay, so basically I'm talking about tapeworm, but we are being specific here. So Tenia solium is found in pig or in pork, pig meat, all right? When you talk about beef, you're talking about Tenia saginata, that is found in beef for cow. So the correct option here is option D for pig. 5. Which of the following describes the characteristics of arthropods? Okay, these are the largest phylum in the animal kingdom. All right, so let's look at a well-stated characteristic about them. I'm looking at option B. Okay, the organism has a pair of jointed appendages. Okay, to further validate this presentation on each segment, we know arthropods have segmented bodies, and these are covered with this exoskeleton referred to as chitin. So the viable options that we have here, there are 2. Okay, a pair of jointed appendages, each segment, then it is being covered by chitin. So option B and option D, they are valid. Okay, option C is incorrect. Option A is not something that we can work with around the context of the JAMB examination. So the most viable options that I can present to us is option B and option D. Question 6. Which of the following distinguishes a butterfly from a moth? Okay, so let's look at A. The wings of the butterfly rest horizontally. No, this is wrong. Okay, when the butterfly is resting, what we observe is that the wings, okay, upwards. All right, so but those of moths rest vertically. This is wrong. Okay, for a moth, you see them horizontally, so it's like an interchange. Okay, so we have B. Both are active during the day. This is also incorrect because we know butterflies are active during the day and moths at night. Okay, you see them crashing into light objects like bulbs. Okay, so let's look at C. They have similar antenna. This is incorrect. Okay, you can see that in the shape of antenna for butterfly. All right, and you can notice the antenna for moth is quite feathery. Okay, so we have the abdomen of moth is fatter than that of butterfly. Now this is what we're going to do. Since all of option A, B, C has been negated, all right, based on the presentation, so what we can go for is option D. The abdomen of moth is fatter than that of butterfly. Question 7. Which of the following types of feathers is used for flight in birds? Okay, so when you are well accustomed with feathers, you will just know that the answer is looking straight at you, and that is option A for the quail feathers. Question 8. The plants that grow in deserts or very dry areas are referred to as xerophytes. Okay, for example, your cactus plants. When you talk about mesophytes, you know, these are land plants that actually stay in that environment that has adequate supply of water. Okay, hydrophytes, we are talking about plants like water lily that lives in fresh water. Okay, epiphytes, they grow on other trees. Okay, so the answer we are looking for is option D for xerophytes. Xerophytes are plants that grow in desert or very dry areas, even like desert like is mentioned. So option D is the correct option. Question 9. Which of the following is the simplest living organism? Okay, so the tug of war should be between amoeba and the virus. Okay, amoeba is considered as the simplest unicellular organism that is heterotrophic, but the virus is considered as the smallest and simplest microorganism with no cell structure. All right, so and again there are debates regarding viruses that they can or will not be considered as living or as non-living organisms. So this is a very tight-fisted situation. So I can give this presentation to option B for virus. Okay, so which of the following is the simplest living organism? All right, of course I will just make a presentation for option B, virus. Amoeba too is cashy, but I go for B, virus. Do not forget to click on the link in the description below. It's going to take you to the Myschool website. There you can get the Myschool mobile app or the Myschool software. So join me as we solve question number 10. Proboscis is a structure that is mostly found where? In insects. Okay, insects like housefly, like butterfly, mosquitoes, and what have you. So the correct option here is option A for insects. Do not forget to hit that like button. Also click on the subscribe button and always tap on bell notifications so you can get alerts immediately we upload the next video segment just for you. Question 11. The structural adaptation of desert plant for water conservation is what? Reduction of their leaves to spine to reduce water loss via transpiration. So the correct option here is option C for spiny leaves. Question 12. The long and sharp clawed feet of birds is an adaptation for what? Okay, an adaptation for catching their prey, gripping, and also carrying this prey. So if we look at a kind of description that fits what I just pushed out, we will see that the correct option is option D for grasping prey. So the long and sharp clawed feet of birds, usually birds that are carnivores, like your hawk, like your owls, like your eagle. Okay, hawks, owls, and eagles. So they have these long, sharp claws, all right, for gripping or for catching their prey, for carrying them. So the correct option here is option D for grasping prey. Question 13. During the manufacture of food by plants, okay, which of the following organisms use energy from the sun? Okay, so I'm going to be pointing to an Anabina. Okay, it's an example of blue-green algae. We are talking about cyanobacteria. We know that certain bacteria, some of them they are saprophytic, some of them are parasitic, and some of them can manufacture their own food. So when we refer to blue-green algae, okay, they contain chlorophyll. Though this chlorophyll is not found in a chloroplast, okay, it is distributed as particles all around the cytoplasm. So the most viable option here is option A for Anabina. We know it's a blue-green algae and it's a cyanobacteria. So option A is the option we are looking for. 14. Movement of minerals and chemical compounds within a plant occurs doing what? Okay, so this should be within. All right, so this is definitely translocation. In short, we can simply put it as the movement of sugar or the movement of substance. All right, we are talking about the mass flow of materials, okay, or substances within the part of the plant. Okay, so translocation is the definition that is being described here. Osmosis talks about movement of water molecules, okay, in the presence of a permeable membrane, semi-permeable membrane to put. Simple diffusion cannot account for this, okay, minerals and chemical compounds. So the correct option here is option B for translocation. 15. The enzyme that is present in the saliva is what? Is the xylene, okay? This is responsible for the breakdown of starch, all right, into smaller molecules. So the correct option here is option D for xylene. Question 16. Plants that have special devices for trapping and digesting insects are what? They are carnivorous plants, okay? They have certain features that actually attract and trap these insects, okay? Features like bright coloration, nice scent, sugary liquid, and what have you. So example of such plants, we have bladderwort, we have Venus flytrap, we have the pitcher plant, and what have you. So the correct option here is option A for carnivorous plants. Question 17. The process of transforming the chemical energy of cellular fuels into the high energy bonds of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, in plants is what? Take note of this is like an immediate energy store, okay, for plants. All right, so all of this process is referred to as cellular respiration, okay? So when you talk about autotrophism, you're talking about a kind of presentation whereby plants can put forth plants, okay, they're able to manufacture their food by themselves. Photosynthesis, of course, you know about this, okay, presence of sunlight, okay. So then we have photolysis, that is due to the absorption of light, okay, you are breaking down molecules. So the correct option here is option D for respiration, or if you want to put cellular respiration, this is what happens there, okay. The process of transforming the chemical energy of cellular fuels into high energy bonds of ATP. So I can just refer to ATP as a kind of very active energy store, okay. So this is more valuable. So the correct option here is option D for respiration. Question 18. Fungi are referred to as heterotrophs because they cannot manufacture their own food via photosynthesis because they lack chlorophyll. You know, when you talk about fungi, examples like mushroom, your toadstool, your bread molds, your slime molds, and what have you. So fungi are referred to as heterotrophs because they lack chlorophyll, okay, and most of them they are saprophytic in nature. So the correct option is option B due to the lack of chlorophyll for photosynthesis. 19. An example of a parasitic protozoan is what? Is Plasmodium, okay? This actually, I can point to malaria. You know, we have Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium ovale, and what have you. So, Paramecium, unicellular organism, Euglena, of course, a unicellular organism with plant and animal-like features. Chlamydomonas, of course, unicellular organism. So, the correct option here is option B for Plasmodium. It is a parasitic protozoa that belongs to the phylum of protozoa, okay, the class Porozoa, and the kingdom Protista. So the correct option is option B for Plasmodium. Kindly click on the link in the description below. It's going to make you get to the Myschool website where you can meet with our solution providers. All you need to do, click on that link and you ask your questions and solutions will be given to you within moments. So join me as we solve question 20. Which blood cells are involved in the immune response of vertebrates? Okay, erythrocytes, we're talking about red blood cell, and that is for carrying oxygen. It houses the oxygen carrying pigment hemoglobin. So let's go to monocytes. They are also type of white blood cell. Okay, lymphocytes, we have phagocytes. Phagocytes, white blood cells called phagocytes. Okay, what they do is they engulf invading or harmful microorganism. Okay, they kind of like let's say swallowing, engulfing or ingest, properly put. So when you look at lymphocytes are the most valuable one that I can present to this question. Which blood cells are involved in the immune response? Okay, they secrete antibodies. So these antibodies are against invading harmful microorganisms. Okay, what they can do, how this happens can be by at first probably breaking the outer covering of these microorganisms or making them to clump together. So the option I'm presenting here is option B for lymphocytes. It's very possible that you have better explanations or better options to any of the questions we have solved so far, just like the way you've been doing. We so much enjoy it. All you need to do is to use that comment section below, indicate the question number and the explanations or recommendations you'd like to share. 21. The blood circulatory system of vertebrates consists of what? It consists of the heart. Okay, it consists of the arteries. These are vessels that we can simply say they take blood away from the heart. Okay, that although they are simple or there are some exemptions to some kind of arteries, but basically they take blood away from the heart. All right. Then we talk about capillaries. Okay, they just unite together to form venules, and these venules come together to form veins. So veins bring in blood back to the heart. So these are the structures. Okay, or the items I can present that comprise the circulatory system of a vertebrate. So the blood circulatory system of vertebrates consists of what? The heart, all right, the arteries, out, okay, capillaries, then the veins. So the correct option here is option A for heart, arteries, capillaries, and veins. 22. A plant tissue that carries water and mineral salts is the xylem. Okay, it conducts water and mineral salts through the root. Okay, then into to the leaves and other parts of the plant. But when you talk about the phloem, all right, you're talking about this actually conducts manufactured food from the leaves, okay, to other parts of the plant, either for assimilation or for storage when there is excess. So the correct option here is option B for xylem. 23. Which of the following helps in the clotting of blood? Okay, that is your platelets. All right, so red blood cells, they actually contain that pigment, okay, for carrying oxygen. All right, so white blood cells are talking about body defense. The plasma, I can just say it's majorly for transportation. Okay, probably there are substances that are dissolved in it or transportation of cells that float in it. So platelets is the correct option. It is very, very necessary in clotting of blood. So option D is the most viable option. Question 24. The part of the mammalian skin involved in excretion is the what? Okay, so when I'm talking about the mammalian skin, I can refer to the two categories, okay, the epidermis and the dermis. All right, so the epidermis, it comprises of the Malpighian layer. I'm talking about melanin. We're talking about the granular layer. Okay, and those are cells that are continually, they are just growing and they want to come up. They're always pushing up. All right, then we have the conified layer where you have plenty supply or plenty presence of keratin. Okay, so let's now go to the dermis. So in the dermis, we have the sweat gland and we also have the sebaceous gland. So this is what I'll be walking around right now. So the sweat gland actually is what is involved in excretion. Okay, when you talk about the sebaceous gland actually secretes the what we call sebum. All right, it's a kind of oily substance. What it does is just to make the air and the epidermis layer, okay, to make it supple and to also kind of put a check regarding dust and microorganisms. So the correct option here is option A for sweat glands. Question 25. Which of the following forms about 55% of the volume of the blood in man? Okay, that is the plasma. All right, so we can tell confidently that the plasma is actually composed mainly of water. Okay, so the plasma actually goes about 55% of the volume of blood in man. When you have better background information concerning these other blood cells, okay, so it will inform the reason why we went for plasma. So plasma is the correct option. Right there, we've come to the end of this video segment, but there are definitely more interesting and interactive segments to come. All you need to do is to hit that like button, also click on the subscribe button, and always tap on bell notification so you can get informed immediately we upload the next video segment just for you.